Blog Talk Radio.
This episode of Video Marketing Madness is made possible by AWeber, the easy way to send emails to your clients and collect leads. And you can check that out by heading over to raythevideoguy.com/AWeber. And on today's show, we have a very special guest, a man who has stalked me around the country, Mr. Todd Gross.
Hey, how you doing?
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.
It's the online marketing radio show, Video Marketing Madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. You can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness and get plenty of useful tips and news of the week. We're live Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can join the conversation at 818-369-1423. Ray's video marketing tip of the week is coming up at the end of the show, and it's Todd Gross on the show today, the #1 affiliate on JVZoo with over 1 billion sales of video.
No, not 1 billion. Come on. 55,000, not 1 billion.
Billion. And that billion was only Video Maker, I think. Yeah.
How you doing, Todd?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's good to have you here.
Oh, you bet. And I probably should explain, because anybody listening is probably going, stalker? What's he talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, aside from being the big JV and affiliate marketer that he is, Todd also used to be my weatherman in New England. And when I moved out to Salt Lake, he was the weatherman out here. And then now that I'm in internet marketing, he's always on those same lists with me. So I think he's stalking me, but or maybe I'm stalking you. I don't know. Which do you think it is?
I think I'm stalking you.
if you go by the affiliate prize list, it's me that's stalking you because I'm always behind you.
I heard you complaining about it the other day.
He complains a lot. Now, when you say that he was your personal weatherman, was he in your living room there?
Yes.
In body and soul, or was he on the TV?
He was on the TV.
Oh, all right.
In his living room, yeah.
Okay. Now, Todd, do you still do any TV weather? I think I saw something on your resume that you still do some stuff.
Well, I'm waiting. Basically, I'm on call at CNBC for when there's hurricanes that threaten the United States. And there haven't been any hurricanes in 2 years. So I was on 2 years ago for Hurricane Sandy.
Oh, okay.
And while I was there...
Darn you, Al Gore. He was totally wrong.
Yeah.
I had a premonition, and it was actually a prediction, that there'd be a big snowstorm in New York in early November, 1 week after Hurricane Sandy, and that would further aggravate the situation. So I said, what the heck, I'll mention that on my last broadcast for Hurricane Sandy. So I did that, and sure enough, it did. Right after Halloween, there was this snowstorm coming, so they called me back. So I did another week in November. So that was the first winter coverage I did for them. But normally what I would do is, in previous years, is I do the forecast for local networks. I mean, I have done the Today Show on the weekends and stuff like that, but normally before stations like Channel 7 in Boston, and I was on Channel 4 out in Salt Lake City, and things like that. But in this case, I'm just occasionally doing network TV when they call me in, because I'm, a handy freelancer, which there aren't enough of, so that's why they choose me.
Oh, okay.
And it's being a weather person, because I actually come from news as well. And for those who don't know, that was my background as well.
Oh, that's right.
I always felt bad for the weathermen, because unlike the overpaid, prissy anchor people who have to just read the news that already happened, you guys are the only ones who have to predict the future.
Yeah, and we do get a bad rap, but in my particular situation in Boston, I got away with it pretty well, because I was doing really well as a forecaster, and I was seemed so into it, whether I was right or whether I was wrong, that I was more accepted than a normal weather person would be, who, generally gets a lot of flack. Also, weather forecasting itself has become more accurate over the years. Even though people don't perceive that, it's become so much better that I can tell a week in advance when there may be a potential storm. For instance, the one that affected New England this past week on Sunday, I knew about that a week ahead of time, that there was a chance of that. And so because of the additional accuracy, even though we still get a bad rap, we don't have half the flack that we used to. Because, people deep down understand that weather forecasts are more accurate than they aren't. It's just a question of they're not perfect by any means.
Right. Well, and the thing is, and I think news stations have done a great job of turning you guys into kind of the, I don't want to say the comedy act, but in many stations, the weather guy is the fun guy doing the cool things and playing the little games as well. And I wonder if that's more of a, I really like that Todd Gross guy. Ha, ha, ha. So I can't be mad at him if he's wrong.
Right. It's true. Some cities, they really do that a lot, though. They take the weather person, they use that kind of as the, like the Ed McMahon, where they just need somebody to fall back on to do the laughing. And,
yes.
It really is.
Wasn't Al Roker originally the weather guy who just kind of did some goofy things? And
Al Roker was he's a friend of mine, and he's down in New York, obviously, and he was never a real forecaster, which was interesting because he went to a college, Oswego, New York, where he could have taken that coursework. He could have majored in that, and it's interesting that he came out of that environment. A state school in New York that actually taught meteorology, and he became a weather person, but he never actually took that as his degree. So he's always fascinated me in that regards. He is the hardest working person that I know of, Al Roker, in terms of doing weather on TV, even though he's not officially what you'd call a meteorologist. He just works, constantly, early morning, through the day. Really nice guy.
And that's a good question too. Are you actually a meteorologist or just a weather forecaster?
Yes. Yeah. I went to the State University at Albany, and it started.
Usually runs probably about 50-50 on most stations. Usually they have one or two meteorologists and then some other guys who forecast.
Yeah, I think it's becoming more towards meteorologists over the years. Nice. I started it's funny because you either start being interested in that and then you become a broadcaster after, which was my route, or you start as a broadcaster, and then you end up having to go take meteorology courses because the stations want you to have some credentials. Yeah. And it all ends up in the same place. But the people that started out as meteorologists to begin with, like myself, are the ones that usually have the forecasting built into them, by circuitry, that kind of thing. So I had to become a broadcaster over the years, learn how to do it, and I was not good when I first got on. I started all the way back when I was a wee tiny lad in 1973 on my college station, and that's where I started doing broadcasting, and I learned from there. So I've actually been in this for, how many years is that? 73 is over 40 years? 41?
Well, since I was born in 74, that would be 42 years ago, I guess.
Wow.
You're killing me. Now, one thing that, an additional burden that you had as the weatherman, Todd, is you had to wear long pants.
That's right. The sports guys wore shorts. Very good.
Yeah. And the anchors wore nothing. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. They just let it all hang out.
Naked News, they wear nothing. Right?
Naked News,
Naked News.
Yeah, but that's Canadian, isn't it?
I didn't know that. Oh. Yeah,
I think it was. I could be wrong on that. For some reason, I thought that was Canadian. But
why does that sound funny? Naked News. Unlike News of the Week.
And that's what we call a segue.
Perfect.
It's a segue.
That was my attempt at a deep voice, Todd. So,
I once did that, and I was on one of those, the movie trailers where I had to voice over a movie trailer. And it took a lot of practice, but I finally got it down where I could do that, deep voice and do the track for the trailer. But I used a little enhancement with my Audacity program, so I could lower my voice even a little further.
Yeah,
I've done a few of those as well.
It's just so funny how it came out.
Now,
so what's the news of the week, guys?
Well, the one comment I was going to make, now it's news and commentary, I guess, but the thing, I played radio for 40, how old am I, 59? 44 years. I started when I was 15, but only 5 of those years did I do it as a full-time living. The rest of the time I was just jacking around. But I ran into a lot of great people, and one of the things they told me, the hardest thing it is to do on air is to sound natural. And then, and they use David Brinkley as the example. Here's somebody that always sounds natural. And then the other thing is to be friendly without being creepy,
Right.
And you've got the friendliness thing without being creepy down. That's one of the first things I noticed about you. So
thanks. Now, just it goes along with what I was saying. I went from the meteorology and the weather forecasting, and having worked on exactly what you just said, having personally worked on that for 20 years.
Yeah.
And then when I went into internet marketing, I wasn't able to make that connection at first. I wasn't able to take that warmth and one-on-one with the camera and bring it over to the videos I started making in internet marketing. So if you look up my name, if you Google my name, you'll run across some really awful clips for internet marketing that I did early on that are so embarrassing, and they're so high in the search engines because somebody wanted to get that, to use my name. Because when I first left television, everybody wrote, "Where is Todd Gross?" in Google. I didn't know anything about Google, so I didn't know this was going on. But some other people knew exactly what was going on and capitalized on that. So they would take my worst clips and put them up there so that people who typed in "Where is Todd Gross?" would see these horrendous clips, and I was like a laughing stock, I'm sure, to whoever saw them.
Well, you're not a laughing stock now.
No, not at all. I think I like how you do your videos. I like the friendliness, the genuine friendliness. One of the things I learned, not that I'm any big deal at all. Well, I tell my wife I am, but otherwise. When I used to be, when I was on full time, I tried so hard to be perfect that I sucked really bad, and I got a decent voice, but I've got adenoids and sinuses and speech impediments and everything.
Yeah, I'm nasal right now.
Yeah, and
Me too.
Finally, one program director said, "You know what? Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it, and start air checking yourself and listening back to them." And I think if you do that, you'll find that what you thought sounded like crap really doesn't. And just be yourself. And that was really a turning point for me. I never made a dime at it, but it's just, I don't know, it gets in your blood and it never goes away. So,
well, somebody like Ray, when he does his
Ray's natural. He's
video, it's very natural, very, very fun. I mean, he always has that fun twist, and that's something that I would try to gravitate towards. So whenever I see somebody who is, really good like that, I try to adopt a little bit here and a little bit there. And I'd say this year, I was just looking at a video, just like you said, of myself yesterday that I did that I didn't feel so great about. But when I looked at it yesterday, I said, yeah, that's really natural. That's what I'm looking to do. So I'd say that after all these years now in internet marketing, since 2006, I have now reached that point where I'm, again, comfortable in front of the camera again and feeling that I could be one-on-one with the audience like I was in television. So while I wasn't at first, now I'm feeling that I'm coming around to that, and I think it's really paying off for me this year. So
yeah.
I'm excited about it.
That's good. Yeah. And I think it goes back also to there's people with different strengths, and in radio, unfortunately, is usually the place where you learn this, because you ever heard the guy who usually says, "You're listening to B101," that guy, and then all of a sudden you hear a commercial for some local car dealership, and the guy's like, "Why, yes, Sally, if you go down to John's auto shop, you'll be able to," it just doesn't work when they try to act, So I think it's just a matter of playing to what your biggest strengths are in those videos. So if you have that commanding voice, then maybe you need to be doing more voiceover type stuff rather than trying to be a personality.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've got a face for radio. I was trying to say that over you.
There you go.
No, I have a picture of you right here on my screen. You look great.
For the way I look. I look good for the way I look. Okay, let's get into the news here. We can still jack around. It's fine. Okay, this comes from Search Engine Land, and they put this out on Monday. 18 days later, Google Penguin 3.0 continues to slowly roll out worldwide.
Yes.
Okay, it's impacting less than 1% of English queries. Webmasters and SEOs are still seeing this slowly roll out. They're having a hard time getting a handle on algorithms. Why? Because Panda, Penguin, and Pirate are all rolling out at the same time.
A panda, a penguin, and a pirate.
Yeah, walked into a bar. Arr!
Very good.
And the pirate said, "What kind of socks do pirates wear?" Argyles.
We need the sound effect.
Yeah, I know. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Argyles.
There we go. We've got it. All right. You know, the thing about that, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't really seen any changes at all, really.
How about on the videos? I mean, I
haven't seen a. In fact, it's funny. I was going to post something yesterday because a couple of weeks ago I was kind of lamenting the fact that the days of creating a video, putting it up, and having it on page one of Google, in a day seem to be past us. However, if you saw those videos that I put up the other day for the bankruptcy lawyers, posted 8 of them or 10 of them, something like that.
Yeah.
They all jumped right up to either page 1 or the top of page 2, and I haven't really done anything with them yet. However, I went yesterday to check on their progress to see if they'd moved up anymore, and the first thing I noticed is they were gone.
Oh.
And I checked even the video tab, and they were gone.
Wow.
And I was talking to Daryl this morning about this. I said, yeah, you should have seen these disappeared. You know, what do you think? Have you seen anything like this? And I went back and looked again, and come to find out, they hadn't disappeared. They were still on page 1 and the top of page 2, but they weren't showing thumbnails. So I kind of just skipped by them without paying attention.
Oh, okay.
So something odd is, and it was all of them. Well, I'm sorry, it wasn't all of them. It was like all of them except for like 2 of them had the thumbnails disappear, and they didn't show up in the video tab anymore, as if they were no longer videos. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know, it might be a temporary thing, but who knows? Something weird was going on with that. So we'll see if it comes back. But they rank well still, so that's good.
Well, you know, what I'm finding is, first of all, I always optimize my videos. I optimize the description. I'm a big believer in content marketing being part of the video. Now,
sure.
You know, I just think that intuitively makes sense, and it's a better user experience. You know, as far as the backlinking, all I'm doing is the social media sites within YouTube, and then I'm doing OnlyWire, and those are my social media sites too, and that's it. And I'm finding I'm getting good results with the true views, and the true views seem to help with the ranking. Now, you know, I've got to have the right keyword combinations though to get ranked.
Sure.
You know, but
well, yeah, you know, maybe the fear of it going away was a little premature, because it seems like it's starting to work again, which is a good thing. So,
well, I do agree with Daryl though. If you're not getting hammered by using GSA search engine ranker now, you will, because you know I mean, if you've got 500,000 backlinks and 20 views, that's a problem.
You
know,
that will be a problem. I agree.
I know people that rely on GSA.
Me too. And I saw results with it, no doubt.
See, I never really did. I did some tests, and I would run the GSA on one video and nothing on the other, and I just didn't see any changes at all.
You'd have to run it forever, Ray. I mean, you'd have to have like 500,000 backlinks. I mean,
yeah, I ran it for a good month.
Oh,
okay. On the one video, and it didn't move at all, and nothing seemed to happen with it.
Okay.
So who knows? But
I stand corrected on that. Yeah.
not necessarily, because a lot of people say it does. So
well, I saw some. I started seeing some results from it, and then we had Daryl on the show, and he said, "Look, I can tell you, having been to lunch in New York at Google headquarters, if you're using that, you better quit." So I did.
Yeah. And
I'm getting a lot of interest in low-cost YouTube views and leads and the free impressions and all that. With doing TrueView buys. I've laid my hands on every single course that I can and educated myself, and it's a good foot in the door strategy. So
good. Well, we'll see where it leads us.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
There you go.
This is from Real SEO, one of our favorite, if not favorite, websites. Candidates miss a trick, ignore YouTube in midterm elections.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, they didn't use it at all. Only a handful have hired anyone to do the YouTube stuff because they're just doing what they've always done, and that's traditional broadcasting yet again. And one of the things that they say is there's been a lot of tight races. Senate, there were 8 races that were tight, and in the House of Reps, 26 races that were tight. And who knows, YouTube could have made a difference. You could make that argument. Now, Todd, Ray and I were out at Daryl Lee's and David Walsh's Vid Marketing Summit. What was that, a month ago now?
Yeah, I heard all about that. Yeah,
it was good. Yeah, it was good. It was really good. And but one of the things that they emphasize is us guys, we're like the top 1%. 99% of marketers out there don't get it. And you got to have a different message on YouTube. You just do different stuff, and I can tell you the traditional agencies don't get it, most of them, because I've had to interact with them. Some of my clients I'm working with, they got a traditional agency, and they want me to come in and just make sure they're not doing anything stupid, and they are. And I'm overgeneralizing, and not being very kind, but the old what they said out at Vid Summit, 99% of marketers don't get it, seems to ring true with this article.
Yeah, and it leaves room for people that do get it. And
yeah.
I kind of enjoy that. When I first got into it, I was scared SHIT when I was in 2006. Every broadcaster that I knew was going to follow me in and just gobble me up. I mean, I really had that fear because I saw it was wide open, that there was no video, or very little anyway. There was no real video surge in internet marketing at the time, and it was very easy to break into. And that was, good for me because I had some ideas. I was doing videos for people, and then I started Squeeze videos with Derek Van Dyke, and I was worried that other broadcasters would come in. Now, it's taken me a long time to get over that paranoia, but I realized that even today when broadcasters come tumbling in, that almost all of them don't know how to do the internet marketing angle, so there's still plenty of room.
It's not part of their paradigm.
When I do run into broadcasters like Ray, we work together and we're even stronger as joint venture partners, so not only isn't it crowded, but when there are other broadcasters, it only helps. So it's really very roomy for someone like me and Ray who have some broadcast experience. In terms of the YouTube videos, I knew way back when. It was my daughter's boyfriend when she was like 13 who told me about YouTube, believe it or not, when he was like 12. I mean, really, that's where it started from. I was doing Google Video, and I didn't know of YouTube yet. Google hadn't bought YouTube yet. And YouTube was hitting the scene. And I knew right away that I should really get involved with it, and I only did a little bit. And in fact, to this day, I'm not doing it right. I've never done YouTube right because I've been too preoccupied actually making joint venture partner relationships and launching products and teaching about the right way to do YouTube and not actually doing it myself, which is bad, but I just didn't have enough time. So I still have room to get involved with that because there still aren't, a million marketers who are all over it in every niche. There's still room depending on what it is. And one of the places that there's still room is just like you said, in politics. And there's still room in terms of offline businesses, which is hard to believe because they realize that they should be on YouTube, but they really aren't. And I know that because I'm not getting asked to do all that many, videos and audios for them. And I'd have an even larger, batch of people asking me to do that for offline businesses. Had the offline businesses really latched onto that. So they haven't really come tumbling in. They all know they have to have a website, and a lot of them have a video, but they haven't really figured out anything beyond there.
Well, oh, no, go ahead, Ray. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's funny that this comes up today because I was actually talking to a guy last night, just chatting back and forth on Facebook. The guy who took over my old job from 12 years ago after I had left, where we used to do a lot of political ads, and he worked for them until about 2011, and still does, but only on a part-time basis nowadays. And he talked about that specifically. He was, and Todd, maybe you'll appreciate this, but others won't. He was working on the Buddy Cianci campaign.
Yeah. That's in
the
Providence.
Unsuccessful,
Yeah.
Darn it, man! I'll tell you, what a great entertainment piece if he had won again. But sadly, he did not.
Wow.
But he talked about that, how it was all just the same old stuff that they were doing, years ago. I don't just mean, the same places to put the media, but I mean, even just the techniques and the commercials. I mean, it was basically the same stuff, just rehashed. So it's nothing changed.
Who figured it out, though? I saw someone figure it out this year on network TV. It was that Dancing with the Stars put somebody in from YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the contestants, was a YouTube blogger, that sort of thing, and I was surprised.
There's a pretty good chance she's going to win, too, which is interesting. I think she's still around.
Yeah, I think so. Last I checked.
Well, I got to tell you, though, I got an admission to make. I've always been a radio wannabe, with the exception of that 5 years in college. I put myself through college working at a radio station, but otherwise it's just been a hobby for me. But I made my living in direct mail for 25 years. And it's I was a pretty good marketer. I really was. I knew all the stuff, and after 5 years of working in YouTube, I'm finally feel like I'm a journeyman. I'm kind of figuring it out and understand it and getting ahead for it and knowing what to do. So I can see 99% not getting it. I buy into that theory.
Yeah,
I definitely do, and even where I see it could potentially be a huge game changer. And man, I'll tell you, I knew some people that ran this year in local elections, and I really wish I had jumped in to help them out. Win, lose, or draw, because I think there's huge potential for these local office seekers to get major exposure through something like YouTube. I mean, imagine you're running for something in I don't know, in Springfield, Massachusetts, which is a pretty good sized city, but not huge. You could be running YouTube videos about running for the local treasurer or whatever, and posting them onto local Facebook groups that are in that area.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's just such huge potential for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get why people just aren't jumping all over that. And I don't see anybody doing that.
Because they don't get it. Well, supposedly the reason Obama won last time was the handle on social media marketing.
That's right.
Because he had no other reason to win. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Because he had no other reason to win.
Oh, boy.
I got to remember that's there. Keep forgetting about it. Okay, this comes from Search Engine Watch. Microsoft global ad sales team layoffs beg the question, is Microsoft done with advertising?
We joked about that yesterday, and I'll tell you, I don't think it's so much that they're done with advertising. I think they're just done with bothering to do it, because the biggest thing that they're talking about with that is the fact that the Surface tablet, they've spent outrageous, like over $1 billion on advertising, and they're just hemorrhaging money from it.
Oh no, this is more along the lines of the Bing stuff.
Oh, is this the? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I saw one that was about the tablet.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but they continued the largest layoff in the company's history this past week, and a lot of their global advertising sales team were declared redundant, and these were the people that were responsible for global ad sales for selling ads across Bing, Xbox, MSN, Outlook, Windows 8, and Skype. And the big casualty was their version of Matt Cutts with Dwayne Forrester.
Yeah.
His job was eliminated, and who knows if Matt Cutts is coming back? That's the next story. But the Wall Street Journal reported that these, in fact, were redundant positions, and then Business Insider said the cuts go far deeper and reported that we'll see the departure of the majority of the global sales force. Does it want to get out of the ad business? That's the question.
They might. I mean, honestly, here's my thought on Microsoft.
Yeah.
And of course, I've never run a $1 billion industry, so what do I know? But they seem to do perfectly fine when they were selling boring products for boring computers to do boring tasks.
Mm-hmm.
The minute they tried to make themselves cool and kind of Appleify their stuff and diversify their stuff and get into technology and hardware, it just seems like it's all gone downhill. People have complained and moaned about their operating systems. They've complained and moaned about Office not being updated fast enough. They've in the meantime created Zune, which was a disaster, Surface, which seems to be a disaster, Bing, which doesn't seem to be gaining much traction. I mean, so it's
Windows 8, which I hate the interface, but anyhow.
Yeah, and that's the thing is people complain about that stuff because in the old days they didn't try to do cool stuff. They just did what had to be done so you could get boring work completed, and they did fine with that, and they made billions of dollars. And now it seems they just lose money because they're trying to spread themselves thin and make their operating systems look cool and have cool devices like Apple does or whatever, or Samsung, and it just seems that that's just not their stuff. And even my son, and this is the opposite side of that. This is them running ads. My son pointed out the other day, on one of the Surface ads, he's like, well, if they're saying that their Surface is so much better than an Apple laptop, aren't they also saying it's better than a Dell laptop, which they make the operating system for?
Yeah.
So they're poking their own partners in the eyes, at the same time. So it just seems like they're a mess right now. So I don't know. Who knows? But
well, and Bing's got a 20% share. I don't know if that's Bing and Yahoo together, but there's a 20% share, and a lot of folks, a lot of older folks, when they buy a computer, it's got Internet Explorer. That's just fine for them, and it's set for Bing, and that's just fine for them. But is it going to get past that? I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But I mean, they've got a decent market share, and I've heard stories of people doing okay with Bing. AdWords buys. I know they don't call it AdWords, whatever they call it, but
no, people have done well with that because it's cheap and it's easy to do because nobody's taking advantage of it yet, and the market's huge but small compared to Google, and so it works out well for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, interesting note. And then here's some more speculation. This comes from search engine land. Will Matt Cutts return because he's extended his leave into 2015, and it was supposed to be the end of October.
Does anyone really care?
Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care?
He's singing.
About
singing.
About time. That's as much as
the William Shatner version.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because I can't say. Yeah, the William Shatner.
Yeah, I saw Shatner live a couple times.
Did you?
Yeah, like 4 times.
So
it's starting at college.
You're a glutton for punishment, Todd.
He did stuff like that, by the way. When I saw him in college, he would just stop on stage and start doing Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Anyhow, he posted on his blog, Matt Cutts, not Bill Shatner. When I went on leave, I wanted to see how web spam would go without me, and I've been talking to people on both the algorithmic and manual web spam teams during my leave, and they've been doing a top-notch job, so I'm planning on extending my leave until 2015.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
Must be nice to just do that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was off last week. I worked about as hard as I normally do.
Yeah. Tell me about it. We did actually take a vacation, like a long weekend, and I didn't take a laptop or anything with me, but it was like leave on Friday, come back on Monday.
Yeah. Haven't been able to do it yet.
I've done it a few times.
Well, yeah, your wife makes you do it.
But then again, I'm not Todd Gross.
Yes, Todd Gross.
And which, by the way, congratulations, because I'm staring at the Easy Sketch Pro numbers, and Todd Gross is number one.
Where's everybody seeing that? I haven't seen that.
I just happened to search for Easy Sketch in my email, and I got the email from it. So, and I'll tell you, it's funny because I've sold a ton of them, and I'm not even in the top 10, so they must be absolutely killing it. You must be absolutely killing it.
Yeah, it was my second best day yesterday in terms of doing a promotion for as an affiliate. Yeah.
It wasn't nearly as big for me as let's say Video Maker was, but which by the way, Video Maker, I sold so many copies of that, I was guaranteed that I was number one on that list, and I looked and nope, a certain other person was still number one.
I'm so sorry, Ray.
That's okay.
Forgive me, Ray.
Hey, we love it. You know what? If there's nobody in front of you, how do you aim, right? There you go.
There you go. It's like golfing, If you want to play with somebody that's better than you. Now, if I could only golf, but that's another story.
I joke with Todd only because he is my hero, and I want to be much more like him when I grow up, and that's why I joke about that.
All right,
and that's true. I'm not
kidding. I'm older than you. I'm older than Ray, so you could say that. Okay.
But I do. I'll tell you, it's you are kind of my inspiration to see that. Wow, look at the things you can do. So that's why I keep working as hard as I do to try and catch up. So.
And in all seriousness, last year I was doing about half as much, and that sounds about where you're at in terms of doing really well. But I can see you doing certainly the same kind of numbers next year. It only took a year.
Well, honestly, and for those listening, I want you to listen to this because it's an important point to make, because a year ago, I would have sold zero. I mean, I literally did not start selling in any sort of numbers, and really trying to promote products and things until probably December of last year was the first time, maybe end of November was when I first started to do that. So, I am still brand new at this, so it goes fast once you kind of figure it out a little bit. So I'm hoping that will be the case, and we'll keep moving up, and we'll see how it goes. But we're doing well with it, and it's a good product, and there's a lot of good products coming up, which is what we're going to talk about in just a minute. Another great product that is coming up very soon. Ooh. That Todd is involved with. So
speaking of products, I sure liked Bertram Heath's product yesterday on.
Yeah. He's been contacting me about that, and I wasn't able to get an email out for him yesterday. But he told me kind of late. He says, I'm going to put that out on Tuesday, and I said, he told me that like Sunday, and I was already promoting something, and I always try to squeeze something in, but I just wasn't able to in this particular instance, and I certainly recommend that.
It's a way.
Just
FYI, it's a way to, for guys like me who are graphically challenged to make custom thumbnails, amongst other things. And I think, Ray, the post on that is still pinned to the top of the online marketers. Yeah,
the top there. It was funny because he when I talked to him yesterday, because I didn't even know it existed until yesterday, and he's like, "Hey, look, I'm number 5," and I'm like, "Number 5 for what?"
That's funny.
And I said, "Oh, you've got a product out. Well, I didn't even know."
You know, I was probably one of the first people to buy it from you, right? I saw that and went, I need that.
Yeah, I didn't mail it until this morning, and it's actually been selling pretty briskly this morning. But I was purposely put it up on Facebook yesterday because I wanted to see. And this is one of the toughest things that we have is if I send out a mailing for a product and post it to Facebook, I never really know if Facebook actually does anything for me or not. Mm-hmm. But by posting it just there yesterday, I was able to see that, okay, sales do come in when I post just on Facebook.
Oh, okay,
which was interesting to see. Yeah. So there you go. Make sure you do Facebook.
Yeah, cool.
Certainly not, thousands of copies, but it brought a little bit of yesterday, which was kind of cool to see.
Yeah. Okay, Google, and here's the last story, by the way. Google enables multiple AdWords account logins. So the days of having several browsers open in order to manage multiple AdWords accounts simultaneously are finally over. This is from Search Engine Land, by the way. Google announced a new workflow that allows you to switch between Google accounts with having to log in and log out. Switch accounts, stay logged in all of them. Yeah. To get started in AdWords, click on either the customer ID or login email in AdWords to open what's called the account selector. And it's just, it's a nice way to be more productive. This is really good. And all these stories, by the way, are on the radio Facebook fan page, which is facebook.com/video marketing madness. Couldn't remember it. I was having a senior moment almost for a second.
That's good that they're doing that. They seem to be getting a lot better with that all around. They've gotten better with it at Google+. They've gotten better with it at YouTube. And so it's good to see that they're finally catching on how to make it easier for everybody to log in and out of all those accounts that we have.
Yes.
And now for something completely different.
Yes, and now for something completely different, although not really, because we've kind of talked about these things up until now.
Yes, but
we've got as our guest, as mentioned earlier, Mr. Todd Gross, the #1 selling JV Zoo affiliate of all time.
With billions
so
of sales.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Todd, when did you get here?
Well, Todd, when did you get here? We've got a couple of I've got a couple of angles I want to hit with you on this, and the first one goes back to something we talked about a little bit earlier, which is your broadcast experience being used inside of the internet marketing world. And the interesting thing about that is not so much that you're creating these videos for a product that you're an affiliate for, but lots and lots of other marketers are coming to you and saying, hey, can you create this video for me? Be the spokesperson of a lot of these products. And now we see your face everywhere, and we've got there's a product coming out tomorrow that your face will proudly be displayed in, and which has a very good video. So when I mail that out to anybody listening, even if you're not interested in the product, you got to check out the video. It's actually a very well done video with Todd as the focus there. So, but how did that come about?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, basically, I started advertising my services a couple of years ago. More than that, I mean, I've been doing it since 2006, advertising that I'll do the video for other people. So I've done it for offliners. I've done it for people who want to help offliners. I've done it for online launches. But in the last 12 months to 24 months, a lot of marketers with rather large internet marketing products have come to me because my conversions generally were high, whether it was because I was picking the right products to allow myself to do this on, or I was helping, and I think in some cases I helped, with the video itself, the conversions. I became, the go-to guy this year for that sort of thing. But then I ran into a problem. Early this year, I ran into a big problem, and that is I was put on products that weren't necessarily my focus as a marketer, so it would confuse my own people who were on my list. And it also, sometimes I'd be promoting products that didn't have great customer support in the end, and I'd now be the representative for that product. So even if I didn't mention my name in the video, I'd be recognizable to about half of the people that went through it, because about half the people know me by sight anyway, in a recent survey I did. So I have a problem in that I didn't want to be identified with products that were in past few months. I've limited it down even further to just products that are either in my focus or so outside of internet marketing that it's not an issue anyway, or something near my focus, which is video, and that appears to be a very solid, reputable vendor. So in my doing so, what I've managed to do is inadvertently pick even better products to promote now, because I'm being more picky, and therefore the conversions are even higher for those products because they were already very good products to begin with. So it's a cycle that just continues itself. So now I'm generally sought out by a lot of my partners, JV partners, to do the video or at least the audio behind their launches. Because on JV Zoo, some of the very top launches, such as VideoMaker FX, such as Backup Beast, and some of my own, the ones that did the best numbers happen to have me as the video person on it. So there's some connection there, whether it's real or just the way that I've been selecting them, that Todd Gross on a video is the person to use to help you with your conversion. So I have a lot of people coming to me now, which feels good, but I have to turn a lot of people down very often because either I don't know them well enough or I just don't have enough time because I'm trying to put my own stuff out or trying to do videos as an affiliate. And, I guess it's good. Too much is good. I just feel bad when I have to turn people down.
Yeah. And I understand the sentiment, too, because, I know there's, and let's have a little moment of honesty out here. There are some people that will promote anything and everything if they think they can make $5 off of it.
Right.
There are people out there that do that. And I know you are not one of those people, specifically because, you do these things and you really put your name on it, literally. But, and me, I don't like to do that either. I always, if I either test a product or if I think it's really cool but I haven't had a chance to test it, I make sure that when I tell people about it that, they kind of know that, hey, this looks really cool. Check it out. Tell me what you think afterwards and that kind of thing.
Right. That's how I handle it, too. It's a very good way to do it. If you're not sure, all you have to do is say, look, this looks really good, and I want you to check it out. And if it means something to you, yeah, by all means, get it and let me know what you think of it. I'm just giving you the heads up on it. And there's really nothing wrong with that as long as you're honest about it. And so I'm glad you brought that up.
And there's been a lot of products where, quite frankly, I've gotten my hands on it and just said, what in the living crap is this thing? and clearly they don't get promoted. And I get told by people all the time, they're like, well, if you review a product and it's terrible, you should tell us that it's terrible. And typically what I do is if I like a product, I tell you about it. And if I don't like a product, I just ignore it. Because let's face it, there are good people out there who sometimes put up a stinker, and you don't want to hurt their reputation just because one product doesn't make the mark either. And so to me, I've always just felt, the old adage of if you don't have something nice to say, just don't say anything at all.
It's also safer that way. I feel that if you do that, sometimes it may help, but also perhaps I was overlooking something, or I was overlooking something that's going to be added to the product. I didn't understand it enough. So I'm not sure. I don't want to slam something that I'm not positive that I have the whole picture on.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I used to be less picky because I did put some financial goals up there for myself, and I would insist that I make a certain amount every day to be able to live, since I wasn't working off my TV salary anymore. So I wasn't quite as discerning. But as I became more discerning and focused more on video products and things that were of interest from originally the way I built the list, I found that it helped me a lot this year. People stuck with me much more, so that I was actually able to grow my list rather than have a situation where I'd get some, lose them, get some, and lose them. This way, it's actually building on itself. I'm not losing the interest of people from previous years. It's continuing to build. And that's really, a lesson for those out there who are interested in internet marketing, that as you do build a list, you have to remember you'll do well after you get your first list going from a promotion or however you first build your list. But you won't do well with that same group with time unless you do things right. And that's a really important lesson that I had to learn. It took me many, many years to learn it.
You know, and you brought up another interesting point, and this goes back more towards the business aspect of things. You said you had goals for your daily income and things of that nature. And it's funny you bring that up, because I don't know if we've talked about this on the radio show before, but I have talked about this a few times with some people and everything. But sitting right next to me, literally 2 feet away from me, is a chart that I keep that I mark down every single dollar that comes in every single day.
Really? See, I do it informally. That would drive me crazy, I got to tell you. But, like, to me, it's, okay, $500 or $1,000 is in my head, and if I don't hit that day, then right, I'm going to get, I know that I have to make up for it. And that's basically, so it doesn't have to be organized like that, is what I'm saying. You could still have goals without going crazy with it.
Yeah, see, I'm a writer diagrammer, so I love to have that in front of me and to see it. And I've got the daily goal written on the board that I have to, try and hit. And it started off, the daily goal used to be, an average is good. So if if your goal was $500, but you did $200 today and you did $700 tomorrow, well, then you did your daily goal because it was averaged out. And nowadays it's kind of neat because you follow that goal, and I tend to beat the goal every single day now, which is really good. And I think that's the point I'm trying to get to here is by having that goal, and knowing what that is, knowing what you're focusing on, you can really start to make a difference in your business.
Yeah,
and I think that comes right down to what you said about picking the proper products, because I know if there's a great Twitter product, if it's number one on JVZoo and it's selling like crazy, if I promote that Twitter product, I'm not going to hit my goal. Most likely I'm not going to hit that goal with a Twitter product because it's just not in the purview of my audience. But, so I think that goal not only helps you to build financially, but it really helps to guide you into, okay, what is a good product that can sell, that's not going to tick people off or make people angry, and that makes sense for my audience that's in front of me here. And I think that's a big help, is just having that goal and that focus.
Right, exactly.
Beautiful. Now, let's break away from the business side of things for just a moment, because like I mentioned, you've got a couple of big projects that are coming out. One that you're a little bit more intimately involved in that is coming next week.
Yes, Explaindio Video Creator, which is interesting that it's coming out right now because Easy Sketch Pro 2 came out yesterday.
That's a coincidence.
Yeah, I was trying to be honest and say, guys, you're coming out the same day as Explaindio, and I'm not sure if that's such a great idea because, it has so much in it that's so similar to Easy Sketch Pro 2. And instead of pushing it back, they moved it up a week, which is fine. I mean, I'm involved. Obviously, I'm involved in promoting Easy Sketch Pro 2. But I think there's going to be some, how do I put this? There's going to be some pushback next week because even though it's a great product, this Explaindio Video Creator has most of the features, but it also has features from VideoMaker FX. So I didn't know how to approach that in my promotion yesterday. So what I did is I did a review of both, a mini review of both, and explained that. But I was actually happy to see that there was a feature in Easy Sketch Pro 2 that is not in Explaindio Video Creator next week, because otherwise it would be a hands-down win for Explaindio since it has VideoMaker FX capabilities and Easy Sketch Pro capabilities. And the feature is actually very important, and that was that ability to go from a video straight over to a sketch on the last side.
Yeah.
And that is something that is the only thing that these guys haven't thought of, because we have a full team at Explaindio of people working on it. It started with Andrew Darius, and then Cody Moyer got involved with the marketing, and then I got involved with the video making, and then they brought Nick Lapola from Simple Video Pro in to take a look at it, and then his affiliate manager came in, and he's dynamite as well. And basically, we all looked at the product and said, well, how can we improve this product before we knew anything about Easy Sketch Pro 2? They didn't tell us anything. And coincidentally, totally coincidentally, we came up with the same set of features that they did in terms of what would make for a better sketch product, except for that one thing. We didn't think of that one thing, fading from the video to the sketch. So I was actually glad to see that they have something unique so that when people next week realize how tremendous this video product is, how it does, such an overall amount of things, it's such a large amount of things, and yet it's easy to use, they'll still feel that they have a really great program with Easy Sketch Pro 2 because it has that feature that we don't have in Explaindio. So that was really nice.
And I kind of attacked that from basically the same angle, which was, that, hey, you know what? And we even had a few people on Facebook say, well, gee, that Explaindio thing's going to be coming, isn't it kind of the same? And I kind of said the same thing. I said, well, it's got this feature that kind of makes it unique. I said, and my honest opinion on it was, hey, you know what? If you can buy one of the two, you got to go with Explaindio because you're going to be able to do both. However, if you can buy two things, I would totally buy both of these and have them, as part of your arsenal because it does have some pretty cool features that that are in there because it is, that's what it focuses on is those sketch drawings. So it does have some interesting features. Now, on the other side, Explaindio, and for those of you who are like, what the heck is that? Basically what it is it's a video creation tool that allows you to make info-style videos, the kind with the slides and the animated characters and the text, but it also has a built-in sketch program. And, not to put down Easy Sketch Pro in any way, but to me, Explaindio is the easiest way I have ever seen to make whiteboard videos. I've had Video Scribe. I've used Easy Sketch Pro. By far, Explaindio does the whiteboard portion of their stuff in a way that is way easier than any other program I have ever used for that. And I really appreciated that portion of it. Like I said, Easy Sketch Pro does have very good tools that take things to a different level on the sketch side. But if you want one tool that can do everything, Explaindio really does a fantastic job with that.
And, our first video that just came out today, as a matter of fact, for that product is out there. And your link, Ray, will go to that very explainer video. By the way, that's where the title came from. Explaindio is short for explainer video. Right. And an explainer video is something like what Video Maker FX does, and that's where they kind of grabbed the name from to come up with Explaindio. But what we did is, and it's funny because on the video that's up there now, the first preliminary pre-sale video, they took me narrating, and then they had a section where they wanted to show how important it is to catch attention in the first few seconds. So they had us dress up in how do I put it? Thug rapper.
Yes.
And what I did is I had to dress that way, and I didn't end up in the video, but Nick did, Nick Lapola, and he was doing a video in that same sort of rapper thug gear where he's, doing a video for a company that wants to, talk about their burglar alarms or something like that. And they show him being shoved up against the wall and shaken down, and it's just so funny at the very beginning of the video just to catch your attention, to make the point. And then for the rest of the video, they shoot over and actually show everything that Explaindio can do as a video maker. And when I'm watching the video, I'm thinking, hey, isn't this cool? For a minute I forgot, this great video, they must have hired a production company to do this video. And then I remembered, hey, wait a minute, we put this video together. Nick and Ian put the video together. And what they did is they used the actual Explaindio product. They used a mixture of the Video Maker FX type features and the Easy Sketch Pro type features, and they just combined them completely. So you can't even tell that they're two separate things going on. It's just all combined with the video backgrounds at the same time. So it looks really extraordinary beyond what we've seen before, and they're already showing it off. And I know that it didn't take them long to put it together because they hadn't started yesterday afternoon. They had it done by this morning, but I know they put a lot of work into it. But when you see the video, you'll see all the videos in the background and all the effects that they added. You could see why it took that long. But still, it couldn't have taken too long because it was only a 12-hour period to make a video that is just so impressive. And that's already up there. So, Ray, if you were able to give out your link, it would go to that particular video.
Yeah, and it's just raythevideoguy.com/explaindio, and that's EXPLAIN, explain, DIO, Explaindio. So there you go, raythevideoguy.com/explaindio. And, of course, if you're in the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/video, online video marketers, the video has been posted there since Nick and Aiden were working on it. They've been posting updates on the video throughout the day and yesterday, so a lot of people may have already seen that. So check that out, though. Very, very good, very funny stuff. And the point being, and this is something that needs to be really mentioned with this, with other video making products that have come out that make slides and things like that, they've been pretty good products. They've sold like crazy. But the one thing that Explaindio adds to this that was missing from some of the others was that ability to put actual video in the product as well. So you can have slides, and then you can have actual video in the project, which is a big, big part of all this.
Right. And
so the big
exciting, yeah.
So my question to you then, Todd, with this is, where do you see this falling? Who is this product pushed towards? Who's the ideal client for this particular product?
Well, we were struggling with that. We decided that this time it's for everyone. From kids that just want to be the next Spielberg to folks that want to really ramp up their marketing. I personally, know that I would use it for an offline business or for a sales page for an online business. But there's so much that it can be used for, such as training videos, anything that you can think of that a video would try to get a point across, since you can now mix the cartoons and the writing with the actual video, and videos in the background can have sound now. So anything that you could think of that has to get information across, whether it's training or whether it's to sell something, it could be used for. So it has multiple purposes across the board. This is the first time we've seen something that actually, can tap into every market of video making. And, I'm proud to be part of that. They came to me originally, asking me to do the videos, and then I kind of got more and more deeply involved with it. And to tell you the truth, economically to me, it doesn't really even make much sense the way I'm promoting it to partners of mine, saying, hey, you really got to look at this, because I'm not really getting much for that. But the reason that I'm doing it is just because it's such a high-quality product, similar to the way Video Maker FX came on the scene. And Peter Rozak said to me, how's this going to do? I said, it's going to sell like gangbusters. And he said, that's not what I've heard. That's not what I think. That's not what I'm set up for. And indeed, the only problem Peter had after he launched Video Maker FX was he wasn't ready for the 30,000 sales. He was planning on 1,000 sales. So he had to gear up, and he wasn't really set up for it yet. So that's the only problem he's had with that product. But again, there was a big hole in the market waiting for that product, which was an animation. For those of you that don't know, it was similar in whiteboard concept, but it wasn't the sketch kind. It was the animations, the pre-drawn animations that you could automatically add. So then Easy Sketch Pro came out 1 month later, and I was involved with that as the initial affiliate to promote it, and that's the one that I made, it almost turned my life around when that first came out, because I made so much money as an affiliate for that in June that I was able to actually change the course of where I was heading in terms of my personal life. Just as an affiliate, I made thousands of sales for that one product in just 4 hours. So I made thousands of sales as an affiliate. And it was because, again, there was a big need, a complete hole in the market for sketch that didn't cost a lot of money. So a lot of
Right.
businesses we had known wanted to have sketch products where you could have the actual hand drawing out whatever you wanted because it was cute and it had been shown to be very effective, but it had cost an arm and a leg to get on other services that did that. So therefore, that product sold a lot. So now we have Explaindio after Easy Sketch Pro came out yesterday. Now we have Explaindio coming out next week. And now we have the problem that everybody is running into is they could either have the sketch going on or they could have the video animation going on, but they've never had the combination both in one piece of software. So that's why we have another opening, a complete hole in the market, and that's what we're hoping to fill next week, and why I'm excited to show my partners about it, even though, as I said, there's not much incentive for me to do that other than to just say, hey, partners, you got to see this because then you can't believe what it does, you know? So that's basically why I've gotten so involved, even more so than I would normally be involved with such a small piece of the ownership of this product.
Yeah, and for those that are still wondering a little bit about what it is, if you've ever wanted to be able to make video and have been scared when you've seen the video tools like Premiere or Final Cut or even iMovie, you are going to love this because it takes away all that scary-looking stuff and makes it so simple to put together. And, of course, unlike all those other programs that make high-end video, you start off with templates. So, you can pull up a template and make a video very, very quickly, which is another exciting thing about it. I mean, as much as I love Final Cut Pro, guess what? There aren't really templates for a plumbing video built into it.
Right.
That sort of a thing. And of course, there's some other exciting things about Explaindio that are coming, and I'm not sure if we're really supposed to talk about them yet, but let's just say there will be a lot more templates coming.
Oh, yes. Yes. There will be a whole marketplace connected. And
that's what I wasn't sure if we were supposed to talk about yet. So.
Yep, absolutely. I already spoke to some of my favorite guys who do graphics and set up those kind of templates, and I think they're getting involved. But I don't think the marketplace will be there when it launches. It will be weeks afterwards, yeah. Yeah,
they were hoping to have something up there for people to at least get into, but we'll see. I mean, the site is up, and but there's nothing in there yet. So who knows? We'll see what happens. But that's going to be very, very exciting because artists, much like people now go to Video Hive and get After Effects templates, you're going to be able to go there and just like with Video Hive, get the template that you need, bring it in, and just go to town. And artists all over the world will be able to bring in their style of animation into there. So it's going to be very, very exciting stuff.
Well, you sold me. I'm buying it.
They put a lot of money in development in it, and I'm, when I first signed on, I wasn't really quite clear until I received the software. And I'm the type of guy that is not very adept at using software. You'd think I was, but everything I've done in my video marketing from day one has been shortcuts. So I use Camtasia for Mac as an example, and I learned to use that. And I put everything together in that, and I use it to shortcut. My green screen setup, my whole studio, I'm using pretty much the bare bones. I have the green fabric on the wall. I have a couple of lights. I have a Canon T3i, which isn't a high-end video camera or anything like that. And I just, pop out the SD chip and I put it into the computer, and I quickly download it, edit it, and I bang it out there. So I was scared when I first ran into the software, when I first went in, when I first used it, that it would be complicated and something I'd have to concentrate on and take away from the time that I use normally towards my marketing. But no, I was able to catch it actually quite quickly. I was able to make my first video within a matter of minutes because of those templates that you mentioned. So I was really happy to see that. And since then, I've had several people, such as Ray, actually test drive it. And we've had at least a dozen, maybe 24 people really look into it hard. And I haven't heard a complaint yet, which is pretty rare. So I'm really glad about that. In fact, the only complaint we had was from Peter Beattie, who needed to reboot his computer, as a matter of fact. It took us like 6 hours to realize he just needed to reboot. And then once he rebooted, it started up fine. So I'm really happy about that. It's good to be associated with a software that already has been pre-tested for change.
No, absolutely. And I think the only thing I submitted to them was on a very large screen, the background color doesn't go all the way across, so they had to fix that. But I mean, that's totally aesthetic. You know, it's nothing to do with the software itself.
Right.
Cost. What's the cost?
Well, we're not sure yet, but we think that it's going to be low, especially with the commercial license included. I believe we're going to include the commercial license with the base, which means that it would be a fraction of what some of these others have been because they didn't include the commercial license, the ability to use it for others. We're looking probably at 37 or 47. There may be an initial discount before that, but
nice.
We're not looking at very high, and we're looking at the commercial included right now. So that's the latest pricing that I've been privy to.
When's the rollout?
It's at 11. It's 11, 11, and 11. So it's 11 a.m. Eastern time on November 11th. So just remember all the 11s.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because I was planning on creating all these training videos for it, and AIM told me stop. He says because we're going to have a new version, and you're not going to want to make training out of what you've got right now. I said, oh, okay.
He's talking about the ability to include the videos in the background that have sound, and that.
I think I have that version then. So that's.
Do you?
I believe so. I haven't tested it, but I believe I do.
That'd be good.
So I'll have to check and see.
Yeah, it's pretty good, the latest changes they made. But it had already been fully functioning. It's just that they decided they wanted to put a couple of more features in that were, real hot bang features. So they're doing it.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. I think that people are really going to love this particular piece of software because it's going to allow you to make some pretty cool videos without having a lot of video experience. So I'm looking very forward to seeing people's reaction to this particular one.
Yeah, we appreciate your support on that, Ray. Thank you very much. You too, Steve.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, I'm intrigued by it. I think this is going to help me quite a bit. So cool. Yeah, Ray's okay. He's not a bad guy.
Sometimes. It's questionable at times, but
he when his cable's out, he likes to go down to the rec center and watch folks swim
with my binoculars.
All right.
Like it's funny you bring that up, and we'll kind of close out on kind of a comical note with that. But my son and I were watching The Walking Dead, I think it was the other day, and the commercial came on, and I was skipping through the commercials, and that one happened to come by. And I stopped and rewound it and watched it again. And he's like, what in the world are you doing? I said, I love these commercials. I think they're so funny.
I'm super creepy, Rob Lowe, and I've got cable. Yeah, that's
I think the one I rewound was the socially awkward Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
The new one.
I can't go pee when there's other men around.
So there you go. You can make your own socially awkward videos with Explaindio.
That's right.
Yeah, I can monetize my personality.
There you go. Perfect.
Now, Todd, one thing I do have noticed, when you're doing your videos and you're on camera, I mentioned that you have that natural friendliness without coming across as creepy, but you also have a fine head of hair, and that's good.
It's not all my natural color all the time. It's pretty natural about 60 days after a haircut.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a good attribute for an on-camera guy.
But yeah, it's all my hair, and it's funny. It's come up a couple of times recently where people are commenting on it online, and I think it's pretty funny. When I was young, I looked very young, so I got teased a lot in high school, that sort of thing, where I wasn't one of the cool kids. I was one of the more the nerdy, trying to be cool kids. And then as I grew older, it kind of flipped around, as everyone said it would be. It would. Because I'm an old dude. I'm the same age as you, Steve.
Oh, we're both old dudes.
We're old, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of had the same thing in high school, except I've got oily skin, So yeah, I had the zits, and that was kind of a drag in high school. Now, it's I don't have wrinkles,
Right.
or
Exactly.
any more so than the guy my age will have. So got bags under my eyes from but that's from
me. I'm just still young.
Well, I got bags under my eyes from all the meth. It's not from the age. So.
Yes, of course.
All right.
Well, on that note.
Well, hey, do you have a tip of the week?
I do have a tip of the week, but before we do that, I just wanted to say thank you to Todd for coming out and talking about not only his experience, but also about Explaindio, because I really do think this is going to be a killer product that everybody needs to check out. So I'm really glad he was able to come on here and show us that product, and I know everyone's going to love it. So there you go.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Well, and just remember, Todd, we're not 60 yet.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm just old enough that I could take money out of my my IRA account. Did you know that?
I'm a couple of months away from that.
Yeah. So
then you're old enough to get the discount at Denny's.
There we go.
Am I? All right.
Yeah, all right.
I believe so. I believe it's 55, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah, I always ask for the discounts, and then of course, what really kind of offsets it for me is I've got the maturity of a 15-year-old, so that that's
there you go.
Yeah, that makes it all okay. All right, you ready for tip of the week, buddy?
I think so.
Okay, hold on. And now, tip of the week with Ray, the video guy.
Yes, so this week's tip of the week is a little bit different. It's not going to be a free software download or a website that does some cool free thing for you. This tip is actually dealing with podcasts, something you're probably listening to right now if you're hearing my voice. And, I don't think a lot of people pay too much attention to what is actually out there in podcast land, but there are many, many great podcasts specifically for growing your business, growing internet businesses, and even industry-specific businesses. So if you are not using podcasts, I highly recommend that you jump onto your Android phone or your iPhone, and I don't know much about the Android phone per se, but grab that podcast app and just search your industry. Because I, for one, I think it's been mentioned on here in the past, I listen to probably 3 to 5 hours of podcasts almost every single day. And, some of them are entertainment, sports related or what have you, but a lot of them are business related. So Pat Flynn, Internet Business Mastery, programs like that give you information that you should be paying a ton of money to learn. So if you find yourself in places where, you're listening to old AC/DC MP3s on your iPhone or whatever.
That's me.
Then, take the chance to take the time to grab some podcasts, and you can really get a lot of great benefit out of that. Like I mentioned, Pat Flynn, Smart Passive Income is a great way to improve your business. He's a very smart guy. Internet Business Mastery is another great one that gives you a lot of information about how to run an online business. So just check those out and have fun with it. Again, entertainment and education, all at your thumb tips. Just pull out your phone and check out all the podcasts that are out there.
I don't have a smartphone.
Well, do it on your computer.
Well, actually what I'm going to do for Christmas is with my Christmas money, I'm going to get a tablet.
Well, there you go. You can do it with tablets. You can do it with an Apple TV, believe it or not. You can get them right off of the Apple TV. You can do them right from your phone. You can do them from your tablet. You can do them right from iTunes on your computer. So there's just a million ways to do that. You want to listen to something that you should be paying for, but you're not. Grab whatever podcasting device you can get and check it out, because there's a lot of great stuff out there.
Is there something better than iTunes for downloading the podcast? Some of the guys were talking about that at the Vid Summit.
Yeah, there's what's it called, Stitcher Radio.
Yeah,
is the one that's very popular. I actually use the podcast app inside of my iPhone,
okay,
and I use iTunes on the computer. But there's a few different apps out there, and you can go to websites directly. Podcast One, for instance, and that's much more entertainment. But that's a website that produces podcasts on a very high level for sports athletes and people like that, and business personalities. They've got Dennis Miller and Laura Ingraham, and they've got former pro wrestlers and former football players and former MMA fighters and things like that all have these podcasts on there. So they produce very high stuff, so you can check out how they do that. Just go to podcastone.com and you can check out all of those. So there's just an entire world of information and entertainment at your fingertips if you just check out the world of podcasts.
Very good. Good tip.
Yes.
You still there, Todd?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'm here. I'm listening all about your podcast.
Well, good. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, this has been fantastic, and I'm going to get Explaindio. You can get it at raythevideoguy.com/Explaindio, but wait till Veterans Day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
That's right. Well, you can go there now, and you can check out the pre-sales videos or the pre-sale video.
It shows what it can do.
Okay, cool.
And also, I just want to say my tip of the day. When I first got into this, I did so by exploring areas that I thought people needed things done for. In other words, I would make videos for people, and that's how I snuck into internet marketing. For those that aren't already in internet marketing, not already making money from internet marketing, I had previously always recommended that they become experts in Camtasia, because that particular program will open the door for them to be able to help others. That's what I'm saying again with this program coming out on Tuesday, Explaindio. If you master that, and it won't take long, it will only take you literally hours to become a master at using it, you can then use your talents to help others, and you will be able to squeeze your way into internet marketing, finding others like yourself who have products coming out that maybe don't want to spend money yet, but perhaps will promote you or your product. You'll be able to barter and bargain with people like-minded, like yourself, by having that talent. You'll be able to leverage that talent. And that's what I would recommend you do as an internet marketer, is find a talent, whether it's using Explaindio or not, and bartering it like I did, so that you'll be able to get ahead. And that's my tip for the day.
Fantastic.
I love that. And one place that I've seen that can work really well is in the graphic area. There's a lot of people that are very good at graphics, and there are people that need headers and banners and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I know a bunch of people that have gotten into this business just by starting off selling their graphic talents to create sales pages and things of that nature. So there's a lot of different things that need to be done. I mean, for Explaindio to come out, they need to create squeeze pages and sales pages. They need to make videos. They need to have graphics on those pages. They need to have programmers. I mean, there's just so many different things that you can be doing if you can get your name out there, and people are willing to give you a shot. It's not like the corporate world. They're not hiring you full-time, so it's an easy way to get your foot in the door.
There you go.
Perfect.
Fantastic. And it's easy to remember. It's Explaindio.
Correct.
It's like Ronnie James Dio, only
and nobody's been able to explain Dio, so
I'm an old stoner. Okay. I used to do progressive rock radio back in the 70s, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Which is now called oldies.
Oh, well, classic rock, I think, or something. Okay. It's the online marketing radio show, Video Marketing Madness with Ray the Video Guy. I'm Steve Sleeper. Our guest today has been Todd Gross, who's just sold an insane amount of affiliate stuff, and his new one he's working on is Explaindio, and you can go to raythevideoguy.com/Explaindio, D-I-O, and check it out. And today's show made possible by, Ray?
Well, besides Explaindio, it's also made possible by Aweber, the easy way to create newsletters, collect leads, and be able to email your fans.
I love it.
Check it out at raythevideoguy.com/Aweber.
So easy to use. And of course the group, the mastermind group for Ray is facebook.com/groups/ online video marketers. The Facebook fan page for the radio show is facebook.com/video marketing madness, and all the stories that we do on News of the Week, they're in there, plus a bunch of other stuff. There's a lot of good tips in there. So check it out. Become like it. I guess they don't say fan it anymore. It's like it. Like it.
Yeah, like our page.
Like our page. You will like it. And, hey, that's it. We'll be back next week.
We will see you then. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.